Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that so many younger people are dealing with, losing their hair way too soon. We're going to break down the real science behind why this is happening, and more importantly, what your hair is actually trying to tell you about your health.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a pretty powerful thought here. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Seeing your hair fall out isn't just about how you look. Think of it more like a check engine light for your body. It's a biomarker, a real, physical signal that something deeper might be going on.
So what's the deal? Why are people in their 20s seeing what their grandparents saw in their 60s? Well, the science is becoming super clear on this. Early hair loss is often your body's way of waving a red flag about other stuff, things like your hormones being out of whack, gut problems, or even silent inflammation that you'd otherwise have no idea about.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, because it's what we all think. When it comes to hair loss, we all blame one thing: genetics. Oh, it runs in my family. It's the ultimate excuse, right? But is that really the end of the story?
And look, it's true. The science confirms that about 80% of male pattern baldness has a genetic link. And when you hear a number that high, it's easy to just throw your hands up and say, well, that's that. It's in my DNA. Nothing I can do.
Which brings us to the real question, the one that really matters. If it's 80% genetic, is the game already over before it even starts? Are you just doomed to repeat family history, just, 30 or 40 years ahead of schedule?
And this comparison just illustrates the point perfectly. Think about it. Your grandfather might have had the exact same genes for hair loss, but it started for him at 60. For you, it's starting at 20. So what's the difference? It's not the genes, it's your internal health. You've probably heard the saying, genetics loads the gun, but it's our modern lifestyle that's pulling the trigger.
So if our DNA isn't the whole story, what are these triggers that are hitting the fast forward button? Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. The answer is not sitting in your shower caddy or your medicine cabinet.
And this is absolutely crucial to understand. There is an entire industry out there selling special oils, expensive shampoos, all these things you put on your hair, but they're all missing the point. You can't fix an internal problem with an external solution. It's just not going to work.
So what is going on inside? Well, the research points to 4 main culprits that are making genetic hair loss so much worse. You've got high stress, which pumps out cortisol, a hormone that can literally attack your hair follicles. You have gut health issues, meaning even if you eat well, you're not absorbing the nutrients. Then there are the nutritional deficiencies themselves. And finally, hormonal imbalances that just throw everything off.
And speaking of nutrition, let's talk about the biotin myth. We've all been sold this idea that biotin is the magic pill for hair. But in reality, a true biotin deficiency is incredibly rare. What's way more common are deficiencies in things like iron, zinc, vitamin D, and B12. And these have a massive impact on your hair. Some studies even show over 90% of people are low on vitamin D.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. Let's shift gears and talk about the most exciting part of this whole thing. Let's talk about the solution and the real science behind hair regrowth.
So to understand how hair can grow back, you first have to understand how you lose it. Your hair follicles don't just keel over and die one day. It's a slow process called miniaturization. Basically, the follicle shrinks over time, and each new hair it grows is a little thinner and weaker than the last until it just stops. But here's the key. For a long time, that follicle isn't dead. It's just dormant. It's sleeping.
And knowing this is a total game changer because it means there's a window of opportunity. For about the first 5 years of thinning, you can wake those follicles back up. They're reversible. But if you wait too long, say over 10 years, they start to scar over and seal themselves off for good. And at that point, nothing can bring them back. So timing is absolutely everything.
So what's the smartest way to play this? The science really points to a powerful 1-2 punch. On one hand, you can use modern medicine, something like minoxidil, which works directly on the follicle to kickstart it awake. But at the same time, you use a holistic approach, nutrition, stress management, to fix the internal root causes that put the follicle to sleep in the first place.
And does this combined approach actually work? Well, the results are pretty stunning. An independent clinical study looked at people with genetic hair loss and found that a holistic treatment plan got positive results in 93% of them. That's huge. It shows that even when the genes are stacked against you, this strategy can make a real difference. So when you boil it all down, this isn't just about saving your hair. It's about listening to your body. Premature hair loss is an early warning system, a report card for your overall health. It's telling you something needs your attention. And that really leaves us with just one final very important question to ask yourself.